Hey, what's up? John Sonmez here from simpleprogrammer.com, and I am holding scissors. There's a reason why I'm holding scissors, though, and I will tell you about that in a second. So I have exciting news for you today. Actually, the news is more exciting for me than it is for you, which is that I have finally reached the point where I'm going to take this stupid white band that I have had on my arm for the longest amount of time off. So I don't know if you can see that here, maybe the camera will focus, but aside from my Hercules bracer, I do have also this white band. Let me tell you the story. Let me tell you about what this is for and what this means. So I've done some videos in the past on what I call tethers, okay? So I think I did a video on when I was growing my mustache out, and you may have seen some of my earlier videos. I don't know if I talked about it in the video, but where I had shaved my head and I looked like Shane from Walking Dead. I didn't do that just to emulate Shane from Walking Dead, although I was watching a couple episodes of Walking Dead and I did think that Shane was cool, so there might have been some kind of subconscious element there. But the reason why I did that, oh, see, this is why I shouldn't be trusted with scissors. I almost dropped that right on my foot. So the reason why I did both of those things, and the reason why I'm wearing this stupid white band from a Tony Robbins seminar from November of 2016, okay, and it is currently, it's June 20th of 2017, so a long time. The reason why I do that is because I create what's called a tether, what I call a tether. And the way that I think about this, I've talked about this a little bit before, but it's worth mentioning again, is I think of it as if you're an astronaut in space and you're going away from the spaceship to do some kind of repair, or I don't know what astronauts do, but you need that tether to pull yourself back, right? If you've seen space movies. I don't know if astronauts really have something like that. I'm sure they have some kind of a tether that tethers them to the spaceship so they can get back. And I do this whenever I need to remind myself of something, of some dedication, especially if I slip, if I fall off the wagon and I want to get back on, I create some kind of tether. I want something that I'm going to see every day that is going to bug me, that's going to remind me that I need to get back, okay? And so I'll give you the story behind this particular tether here. So this one, when I went to this Tony Robbins, I went to UPW. I believe I did a video on UPW here. I'm a big Tony Robbins fan. Well, when I went to the UPW, normally I eat one meal a day. Yes, I haven't eaten yet today, and I won't eat until 5 o'clock, okay? But here's the thing. So I went to this seminar, and I sort of fell off the wagon, right? I did not just eat one meal a day. I missed my workouts. I mean, that was pretty much not really possible for me to prevent, but I could have done damage control. I could have been smart, and I could have said, okay, well, I'm at this seminar, I can't lift and I can't run, there's just not any time for that, or maybe I could run a real short amount, or wake up a little bit earlier, but I could have kept my diet on par, and I could have kept it low, and I could have kept to the plan there, but instead I was eating nachos, okay? Let's just put it that way, I was eating nachos, okay? So I ate a bunch of junk, okay? And I justified it. But after that, and my weight went up. And so before I went to the Tony Robbins, I was pretty lean, like I was hitting my goals. I was in pretty cut shape. This is November 2016. And then I blew it, right, in like 3 or 4 days. And just, that week and stuff, it was not good. And so I was weighing about 210 before I went to the Tony Robbins. And then when I got out of there, I was weighing like 220, 222. I mean, some of it's water weight, of course, and all that, right? But I ballooned up there for me, right? So I said, you know what? I'm not taking off this damn band. I'm not taking this off of my wrist until I get back to 210 or less. Now, here's the funny thing about this, okay? The funny thing about, you're waiting for me to cut this off, but I'm not going to do it until you listen to every fucking word I say, as Adam Sandler would say. So here's the thing. I actually got more cut, lost more body fat because I gained muscle than I was then. So right now I'm more jacked and more ripped, and I've been more jacked and more ripped than I was back then, because I gained about probably somewhere between, I'd estimate like conservatively about 4 pounds muscle in that time period. A little, maybe it might even be more. It might be like 5 pounds of muscle in what's not quite a year, but what's that, like 8 months, 9 months, something like that, okay? And I actually lost some fat. So I've been hovering around like 215, 220 mark, actually in better shape than I was before. And so you think, hey John, well, why don't you just fucking cut the wristband off? Well, I'll tell you why I don't fucking do that. Even though I did what I needed to do in the spirit of the law, I didn't do it in the actual letter of the law, and that's important to me. And it's important to me for one really important fucking reason, which is that when you make promises to yourself, you need to keep promises to yourself, right? So a lot of people have said to me, hey John, no, it's ridiculous. I mean, you achieved the goal. You achieved what you're trying to do. The tether worked. You got back there. You're on the track. I mean, you're probably more cut and more ripped and more fit than you ever were. In fact, you've got more muscle. You know, your body fat is lower. So why don't you cut the thing off? And my answer is because I said that I'm not going to until 210. Now, I may have made a stupid mistake. I probably should have specified a little bit better. But in my mind, I made a promise to myself that 210 or less, or this thing doesn't get cut off, right? So I've been waiting and I've been trying. I've been getting close. I get to like 212, 213. And then I said to myself, okay, well, look, if you got more muscle, by the time you get to 210, you're going to be really jacked, right? So you're just going to have to get there, right? And that's what it's going to take. So I hit there today. Okay, finally I hit there. Now, a little caveat here. I did go for a 10-mile run earlier today, and I haven't eaten yet today, okay? And I had a light meal yesterday, but I've been cutting. I've been getting burning. I'm pretty ripped right now, you know. I'm not like, I could still lose a little bit, but I'm pretty ripped, you know. So I've hit my goal. So now here comes the fun part here. I'm going to actually cut this thing off that's been sitting on my wrist for, what is this, like 9 months now? I better make sure I don't cut the other stuff off, right? So here we go. Yay. Feels good not to have that damn thing on my wrist. But here's the thing, okay? This is why I'm making a video about this, not just so I can ramble on about tying things to my wrist and my wrist and weight loss, but because it's really important that you make a promise to yourself. I mean, this was a big fucking promise to myself, right? It doesn't seem like a very big deal at all. Someone's ringing my doorbell. Look at this. It doesn't seem like a really big deal at all, but it is a really big deal, because if you're willing to let yourself, if you lose faith with yourself, if you can't trust yourself, then it's going to be really hard for you to accomplish things in life. It's going to be really hard for you to drive and reach your goal. And you know, I did it for that many months at a time, right? Every day I looked at a thing and it reminded me. And sometimes I fell backwards, and sometimes I made progress. But finally I did make it. And I could have let myself off the hook. I could have. I did videos on letting yourself off the hook, right? It would have been perfectly justified. And I in the spirit of the law, I had already accomplished what I intended to accomplish, but it's really, really important. And so if you're struggling in life to get things done, if you're struggling in life to follow through, if you feel like you don't have willpower, you feel like you don't have discipline, right? I've been there, man. I've been there. Here's the thing. Start making promises to yourself and keeping them, right? There's no way I'm going to fucking lie to myself. I will not allow it, right? I mean, so much to the point that I will wear an annoying wristband for 9 freaking months, okay? And only cut it off when I have met the exact requirements that I have set myself. That's freedom, baby. That's freedom to rule yourself. Friedrich Nietzsche said, I can't ever say, whatever. You know who I'm talking about, German philosopher. This is what he said. He said, the man that cannot control himself will be controlled by others. The man who cannot rule himself will be ruled by others. So you choose, are you going to rule yourself? Or are you going to be ruled by others? It's up to you. So there you go. I'm happy to be free, finally, of this stupid thing. It was getting smelly. No, it wasn't getting smelly, but it's been on there for a long time. All right, if you liked this video, if you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below and click the bell to make sure you don't miss any videos. I'll talk to you next time. Take care.